That's right, another 286. Except this one has a little bit of a problem. You see that it's not really doing anything other than powering up. There's no real activity from the machine. I'll shut it down, and I'm actually going to unplug this hard drive because I don't want the hard drive powering on and off all the time while I'm trying to do this debugging stuff. Take a look at the LEDs when I hit the power switch. So as you can see, the only thing that's really happening is that the reset line is going out when I power this thing on and off. I have no video. I have no activity from anything else. I don't even know if the turbo switch really does anything. Yeah, no activity from turbo. The only thing I have here on the front is a lock indication that looks like it is unlocked, which is good because I don't know what I'd do if it were in the locked position. I don't even know. Does this thing have a lock? Yeah, it does. It'd be right there. So again, I hope that that says unlocked and that we're not in the locked position, because that would kind of suck. So here we are. There's no RAM in the machine, so that might be an issue. I don't know, does this have onboard memory? Yeah, it looks like it's got onboard memory, so I don't have to worry about that. Although I probably will when it comes down to figuring out what the dip switches are supposed to do, but I'm hoping that it is going to tell me that there's a memory issue once I get this thing working, if I can. This was sold as a working machine, although working in this case meant it powers on. So, I don't know. I really hate it when sellers do that. They think, oh, it works just fine, when in reality it really doesn't. And I do see something right now that makes me think that this is going to just turn into one of those PSA kind of videos. Look at that. I hope that is just water or liquid infiltration, but I will not be at all surprised to find that that is the end result of a leaking battery. So I suppose the first step, really, is to go ahead and pull the power supply out so I can get it out of the way and take a look at some of this junk that's under here. Oh, yeah. Well, maybe not. That doesn't really mean anything, though. It still could have been a leaking battery, because even those box-style batteries will leak. What happens is the battery acid leaches through the cable and destroys things that way. Looks like they used a proper upgrade kit to install the 3.5-inch floppy drive. That's kind of nice. But none of that really matters if I can't get it working. So let me go ahead and see how I need to pull this out. I think it's these two screws here, this screw back here. Oh god, there's two screws down there too. That's going to be fun. And then this metal thing. I took the power supply out, and at first things looked okay. You know, that maybe it was just confined to maybe some of this right here, and that could probably be cleaned up. But then I pulled the cabling off, and yeah, things are not looking too hot. Whatever that is probably ruined. I don't even know. I can't read it in this lighting, but I gotta get the drives out of here. And how am I going to do that? Well, I don't know, because I don't really know how this is supposed to be done. I think I'm gonna have to take out this cage as well. And good god, that looks like that's gonna be a massive pain. Well, I hope not. I'm going to try and take the drives out first. Yeah, that looks like that's going to suck. I want this metal thing out. I just want this thing. I don't want anything else. I don't need anything else. I just want this. So I'm hoping that maybe when I get the drives out, I can reveal enough of this Oh yeah, it's like eating away at the shielding paint on this. So yeah, that's bad. I don't think this is going to work again. So I don't know why I'm putting so much effort into trying to actually save it, but let me get the hard drive and the floppy drives out, if I can figure out how to do that, and we'll see where we go from there, but it's not looking too good. Okay, here it is with all the drives out. And yeah, that looks terrible. Alright, I'm gonna have to pull this. I definitely will have to pull this metal tray off so I can inspect this. Looks like there's a screw there, and then this screw here. I don't want to pull this off because I think that that's just going to be a massive pain. But maybe what I'll do is I'll try and pull this off without pulling the entire riser. Because all I want to do is inspect what's going on under here and maybe see if I could potentially clean it up. But I don't know, and this looks like some pretty serious damage that's been done to this. Okay, well, taking a look inside, this isn't as bad as I initially really thought that it was going to be. Whatever that is probably done for. And a lot of these vias are probably done for. I mean, I hope not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can clean off some of this junk with like a paintbrush or something. In fact, I've got a paintbrush right here. See if maybe I can clean some of this, just to be able to see a little bit better what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. It's possible that if I take those chips out and clean the sockets, it might be okay. I think these are ROMs. Well, these are the BIOS ROMs. But I believe that these are ROM chips for things like the keyboard. They're labeled U14, U15, and U21. I don't have a board layout for this board. The only thing I can find is the Laser 286S, which I think is a different machine. But it's possible that the board layout is similar enough that I could use it. I don't know. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to grab the power supply. And I've kind of pushed on these chips a little bit. And you can hear that maybe they're a little loose. It's certainly possible. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and grab the power supply, and I'm going to try powering it on again, and I'll see what happens. I'm not expecting anything different, but, you know, you never know. Okay, I have a feeling that this is probably not smart, but let's just have a look and see what happens now. Yeah, I didn't really expect any differences there. So, we're still having a problem. Is the reset switch responsive? Oh, that's turbo. I don't know that. No, it's not even responding to the reset switch. Okay. So we definitely have some major problems here. Okay, so here's something interesting. You see that there's 8 LEDs on there, and before I was getting frame, clock, these 3 LEDs here, and then the reset would go out after like about a second. I pulled the riser out, and now I've put it back in, and there's something interesting that I want to show you. I've got 4 of my voltage LEDs. Now, I don't know what exactly they correspond to, because the one on the bottom is labeled plus 3.3 volts, and this should not have plus 3.3 volts. So I don't know if that thing is using that for the negative 5, because this would have -5. It is, of course, ISA, and baby AT at that, so it should have the -5. So maybe that's what's going on with that. I don't know, but I still don't get any activity out of it. But I'm going to see if I can put the riser back. I'm going to put all that back. I'm going to put the video card in here, and I'm going to see what happens. Now, we could still have other problems lurking in the shadows, because I still am not getting any activity out of the reset, and as you can see, this is behaving kind of weird. still not doing anything. So I'm not really surprised by any of this. And I think it might be where I throw in the towel for the night, because there's really not a whole lot that I can do beyond this. I'm going to have to pull this motherboard out and do some serious trace checking on this, is what it looks like it's going to end up being. And I don't know when I'm going to get to that, folks, because I've got so many things that I need to do that, well, I'll be blunt, this is pretty low on the priority list, so I was kind of hoping that maybe it'd be something simple, like a connector that needed to be reseated, but it looks like that's just not the case. We've got a couple problems here, probably one of broken solder. There might be a missing voltage somewhere, I don't know. But there's definitely damage that's been done to this board by a leaking battery. This could have had a bomb battery in it. There was a silk screen underneath it, you can see it right there. But it didn't. But ultimately, even though there's a lot of people out there that love to think of those box batteries as being completely safe, unfortunately they are completely wrong. I can't figure out what's going on, and I've got some questions right now about whether or not this is even an illegal configuration. I will mention that the CPU is getting hot. And I do mean hot. But it isn't doing anything. So there is no activity. Front panel doesn't do anything. I should be getting a reset. I'm not. Turbo should be doing something, and it's not. But the CPU is getting warm. So it is executing code, but not in a valid way. The RAM's not getting hot or anything like that. But like I said, I don't know if this is even a valid configuration for this machine, because there's no parity memory. What this should be is this is bank 0, this is bank 1. Two of these are parity 0 and two of these are parity 1. I don't know which one's which. But there's no parity memory. Apparently you can run it like that. This jumper right here being open tells it to run without parity memory. But that's weird to me. I don't know why that would be the way that it is. So this is what the switches are supposed to indicate. I haven't tried it like this. I could try that. It didn't really make a difference. So, there's a couple of different options that we could try, but it doesn't seem to really do anything no matter what. Unfortunately, I guess it's just not going to be, so certainly not tonight. Thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, particularly if you know what I should really be looking for, I mean, I think I know what the problem is already, but what I could look for, if you've got one of these that you want to get rid of, or just want to share your condolences, feel free to leave your comment in the comment section down below. And I'll see you on the next video. Hopefully it's a happier video than this, but I don't know. With the way that things are going, it may not be.